Hey guys, what's going on? It's Brandon. So, you all know I can be negative when people deserve it. I want to be very positive about a specific GM My Rewards employee. Okay. So, to give you guys a bit of backstory, um, and before I say this, I want to say I'm completely satisfied um, with the resolution that I was provided by GM and GM My Rewards and everything on the first go around because we had a little bit of a battle royale where I had to, uh, you know, take him to the courtroom basically. Okay. The my what do you call it, points on my multiple C8Z06s, the $5,000 points that you get, I wasn't getting them. They had frozen them all up, and they were escalating it to level 3 or whatever within my rewards, and I wasn't getting any resolution after months and months had gone by. And I was like, this is crazy. I'm gonna have to end up getting a lawyer and going after you guys or whatever. And they stopped talking to me. There was a guy who sounded like a girl when he spoke, and he's like, oh no, you've threatened lawsuits, we can't talk to you anymore. And every time I would call in to try to get the thing resolved, they wouldn't talk to me anymore. So I had to take legal action to get treated fairly by my rewards. And I want to just say again, I was made more than whole. I'm very happy with the resolution on that situation. So fast forward, the basic settlement that they proposed was the main issue was when you go to dealerships and dealerships say, hey, we're going to put you on our list, what's a good email? I've got several different emails, and I forget which ones I've given which dealers at what years. Different years of your life, you kind of like, maybe you start a new business, and so you want to give them your business email or whatever, but the car is registered in your name, right? And because that's how the My Rewards points stuff works. It doesn't work if you register the car in a business name. So all my cars are always registered in my name, so that's not an issue. And anyway, so uh, I had different emails, and so I had these different My Rewards accounts that would get set up when dealers would finally sell me the car. They'd just take the email from what's inside their computer and their CRM or whatever it's called, and they'd put it into the OnStar and say, we've signed you up on OnStar and you're going to get your rewards points, blah blah blah. Great, great. So where I ran into trouble with GMI rewards was I needed those points to be transferred from one of my accounts to the other, because my other account was linked to my make a car payment, and you can pay your car payment with the points, and you got $5,000 worth of Z06 points. So you're like, well, hell, let's just use those to make the car payment. So when I would call in to transfer them, the original girl who caused me all the trouble, I'm not going to say her name, but the point is, she starts asking me all these like annoying questions. She's like, why do you have so many emails? And I'm like, because I own, businesses, do things. So you own businesses? Yeah. And she took that little bit of information and determined that my cars were registered in company names when they were all bought and registered in my personal name. So, and then they froze up my accounts. They froze up all my points. They wouldn't talk to me anymore. And it was like, from my point of view, it was like theft at the time. But it's all been resolved. I've been made more than whole on all of it, okay? So anyway, so I buy. Okay, so the settlement, like the terms that they came up with was, we want to close down your other accounts and merge all your points to just this one account, and you just use this one account from here forward. I said, that's fine. That sounds good to me. The issue is, even though they've closed down the My Rewards accounts, they're still visible from the dealers. The dealers still see the OnStar, the dealers still see the My Chevrolet, and thus when the cars are still in those garages, and thus what happens is when they go to sign you up, they type in your phone number or whatever, and these other accounts still pop up. So the accounts didn't get deleted. And that was GM and My Rewards' responsibility to do that per our settlement. And they did not do that, right? So they didn't completely do it. They might have partially done it, but they didn't completely do it. So the problem now is my points are getting assigned to these accounts, which are, per the agreement, closed. So because a dealer just thinks that they're being ambitious and they'd say, oh, there he is. We found him. We'll go ahead and put the car in this, and away he goes. And then somehow my regular account didn't have my phone number tied to it. Okay, it wasn't verified as of today, earlier. And my regular account also had the wrong address, which I don't know how that happened. So, anyway, the point is, when dealers would search me, they would find the closed down accounts. And so they would issue the points to the closed down accounts. Now, when I'm just getting like little rinky dink services done and whatever, to me, that's not the end of the world. I'm not going to throw a big fit about that. But when you buy a $220,000 ZR1, $230,000 ZR1, that's a lot of points that you're now missing out on, right? So I'm sitting there trying to get this resolved, and the first guy I talked to like a week or two ago, he's like, I'm gonna have to escalate this, and I could just tell I was dealing with an idiot. And I said, listen, man, I said, I just want to be fairly warn you right now that if this does not get resolved, technically speaking, GM and the My Rewards account have quote unquote failed to meet the terms of our quote unquote settlement agreement. So if I have to reopen a case on this, it's going to be ugly. I'm not trying to do that. If I was going for blood, I could do that, and I could probably make you guys lives hell, okay, and fork out even more money than you owe me. But I don't want to do that. I just want to be treated fairly. I just want my points. Let's try to get this resolved, please. And what's a realistic time frame? And he says, oh, it could take 5 to 7 business days. I said, okay. I said, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to call you next, after another week. So I said, like today, Monday, Tuesday. And I said, and if this is not resolved, actually, I think it was last week was when the thing was the deadline. I said, and if this is not resolved, understand, we've already been through this rodeo. I know how the courthouse works. Okay, so let's just get this resolved. So today I call in, and I'm sure they can see the notes of the last phone call or whatever. And the first person I talked to, I waited on hold for 20 minutes, talked to the person for maybe like 3 minutes or whatever, 5 minutes. And all of a sudden, it's like I can't hear them. So what they've done is they've muted their end and they continue to talk, but I can't hear them. So I'm just sitting there like, hello, are you there? I'm still here, da da da. I do that for like 6 or 7 minutes because I'm like trying to document. So that was that. Second person I call in, they hung up on me almost immediately after I waited another 20 minutes. So now I'm 40, 50 minutes into this whole adventure. So then I call in a third time, and I had to call from another phone number because as soon as I was calling in, they were now blocking me. They were blocking my phone number because my phone number was not associated with my open account. My phone number was associated with the frozen accounts, and the last notes in the frozen accounts are, these accounts are closed, and this guy's sues us and blah blah blah, probably is what all this shit said. It threatens to sue us, who knows. But the point is, so I had to call in from another number, and I get a really nice girl, and her name was Celeste G, okay? And I want to give that person credit because out of all the people I've talked to at General Motors over the last 10 fucking years, and I mean, I've talked to a lot of them, this girl, I could probably marry her on her voice alone. She was so helpful and so nice. It was like, oh my God, logical humans exist. It was, and I'd love to upload all the phone call and everything, but it's got a lot of my personal information in it and everything. But anyway, the point is, this chick, so I call in and I give them she's like, what's your name? And I didn't even tell her that. I was like, listen, they keep hanging up on me. I was like, please don't hang up on me. I had to litigate against you guys at once upon a time. And It's all settled. I'm happy. Everything's fine. But the problem is, I think that people are seeing the notes on the closed accounts. And so they think that I'm this bad dude and everybody's just hanging up on me out of the clear blue. I said, here's the account number that's open. And once you pull up that account number and, this email that goes with it, please don't hang up on me. I'm just trying to resolve a problem. And we talked through the whole thing. She explained to me why it's not their fault at first. And I said, I understand that, but the problem is the accounts aren't completely closed down. The dealers can still see them. And I said, I understand it's not a human being making the error. It's not a deliberate thing that you guys are doing, but I'm just trying to get this resolved because I don't think it's fair that my points are going to La La Land to these accounts that are supposed to be completely erased, but they're not completely erased. The dealers still see them, okay? And so they're assigning the points to them, and then I don't get the points. So, and I said, it's not me who's doing it on purpose. It's just the dealers trying to be proactive, and they're signing my stuff up before I get to the dealership to buy a car. And then once I'm like, well, that one's not going to work, oh, you can just call them and change it. They'll get it moved around. Okay, great. And, it makes me look bad with the dealers because they think I'm not doing my OnStar calls and not signing up for rewards and not signing up with my app and everything, when in reality, I am. I'm doing everything like I'm supposed to do. It's just, we just get off on the wrong foot with the wrong email. So this girl's like, I'm going to have to put you on hold for a while. I said, you can put me on hold all day long as long as we get this resolved. And she's like, okay. So she works on it, comes back, talks to me a little more, works on it, then finally comes back. She says, I got news you're not going to like to hear. She's like, I have to escalate this to the level 3 because the amount of points, the dollar amount that we're talking about right now is above our pay grade. We're not allowed to authorize that many points, so it has to go to level 3. And I was like, I understand. I said, but just understand, I got to do what I got to do too to be treated fairly. And the whole reason why this all went sideways to begin with the first thing, is because you guys just wouldn't contact me back. And she's like, you'll be contacted back. I said, I want to write a letter to your superior or whatever and say that you are the most helpful GM employee I've ever dealt with. And it really made her day, because I'm sure she read in the notes that I'm Satan, and I'm sure she's thinking, oh God, this guy's going to screw me over on a survey or whatever. And then coincidentally, and I was like, and she's like, I'm going to send you a survey. I was like, I'm going to fill it out great. I was like, but make sure that I can distinguish which one's which. I don't want to be giving a promotion to the 2 people who hung up on me. I want to be giving a promotion to you, giving credit to you. And she's like, well, my name's Celeste and da-da-da. And I was like, is that going to be in the survey? Because I don't know that it says that stuff in the survey. So we got to figure out a way. So she's like, I'm going to send you a survey right now, blah, blah, blah. Well, then she calls me. She takes the time to call me back. I get a call from a 1-800 number. And it's back to my regular phone. It's not the number that I called her from. It's back to my regular phone. I was like, I better pick it up because maybe it's the level 3 people. And this girl's so nice. And I don't have this recorded or anything. I didn't have it recorded because I didn't know who it was. And she's like, hey, Brandon, it's Celeste. I just want to help you out. And what do you call it? The survey that I tried to send to you, it's not going through. And she's like, for some reason, it's malfunctioning. Well, no shit. They've blocked my email from receiving the survey so that I can't destroy these people because they keep hanging up on me. So anyway, so I was like, no problem. So she just keeps talking to me or whatever. So anyway, really, I'm not playing, guys. I've talked to so many GM customer support people over the years. And don't get me wrong, there's been a couple close runners up, but this girl was awesome. I mean, I was on the phone with her probably for 40 minutes today. A lot of that was on hold, if not longer. Maybe it was an hour. It was like an hour. And she got it all taken care of, or it sounds like she's getting it taken care of. So if not, I got to call back in, in another week or two. Anyway, just giving you guys the behind the scenes of how this shit really goes down and how much time it takes to deal with GM's cluster effed up systems. It's like, who cares if a person has multiple emails? Let them assign multiple emails to their My Rewards account. The key problem to this whole thing is that you can't merge accounts together. If a dealer accidentally creates an email from an old or an account from an old email, and you didn't want that to happen, who cares? Just merge it to your other accounts, merge them all together. But the GM apparently can't figure that part out, and instead they're paying these employees all this money to field all these phone calls and end up getting sued because they can't just merge the accounts together. It's the craziest thing. So anyway, um, Celeste needs a raise. Celeste needs a raise, and the other people need to be fired who hang up on people for no reason. So yeah.